Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I would like to say thank you to anyone who continues to be a supportive part of the journey with me. And those of you that are new here, welcome. We are all here sharing this human experience together. And this is a reminder that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things completely differently here. With that in mind, if the messages resonate, it would be great if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And as always, if you're interested in helping out the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So with that, today we are asking how they are currently feeling about you. I pulled out an old deck. I use it on so many readings, but I never use it as a card to pick from, and that's the Earth Magic Oracle today by Stephen D. Farmer. This was my very, very, very first Oracle deck that I got, and so it has a very special place in my heart. And that's why you see it so much. But yeah, I felt really called to using that today. And let us go ahead and start with our prayer. I know that you received a pick a card reading on Thursday of this last week, and that was technically the first reading that I had posted in 7 days. I needed to take some time off. I wasn't feeling good, and I actually recorded that reading before I took time off, and I just decided to wait to post it. So this is technically my first reading recording after being gone for the last week. So just a heads up for those of you that continue to support through the community postings and know what was going on. All right, my beloved source, this prayer is for anyone and everyone that's here on this tribe today. This end of year has been increasingly difficult in a variety of ways, and especially right now at this time when there's so many astrological anomalies and conjunctions and squares and challenges that are rising. Mercury retrograde has been no fun, and I know I'm not the only one who's experienced that. And I know right now there's a lot of people who are lashing out because what they're experiencing in their personal life has been overwhelming. And it's hard to articulate how we feel in this moment. It's hard to express what it is that we're really, truly going through. Because it feels like no one's understanding us, and it feels like no one wants to understand us. And this can be a deep challenge because our only goal in life, or our only want and desire, is to be understood, to be seen, to be heard. So today I ask that you help guide us through this difficult time. Help us find the right words that even if people don't really get us at our core, that they are at least understanding and receptive of what it is that we're going through. And if they are unreceptive to us at this time, then I ask that you open our eyes and show us clearly that just because we are compassionate and kind does not mean that we are a nice doormat for someone to stand upon and wipe their muddy shoes on. Help give us the strength to walk away from what does not serve us, and help us stay in a place of centered groundedness. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right. So let me move this out of the way. We're going to give this a shuffle. So how do they currently feel about my fellow humans? What Earth Magic card? And here comes the train, so bear with me. How do they currently feel about my fellow humans, source? How do they currently feel about my fellow humans? How do they currently feel about you? Source, what messages would you like to share with us today? All right, for pile number 1, what Earth Magic Oracle card is going to help us better understand how they feel about you, pile number 1? Source, what card would you like to come through today? All right, thank you. And for pile number 2, Source, what Earth Magic Oracle card is going to help us better understand how they feel about you, pile number 2? Source, what message would you like to bring forth? What card is going to help us better understand how they feel about you, pile number 2? How do they currently feel about you, pile number 2? Thank you. All right, and for pile number 3, Source, what Earth Magic Oracle card is going to help us better understand how they currently feel about you, pile number 3? Source, what Oracle card will help us better understand that? All right, thank you. Okay, collective energy. Oh, love. We've got love and compassion on the bottom of the deck. And it's interesting. I will read this from the book, but this card is very unique because I've seen readers who see this card as this is the love card. They love you. Oh my gosh. And that's okay. But this card actually means something a lot different than romantic love or even platonic love. This is about self-love. This card talks about self-love and compassion for yourself and what you're going through. And right now, how do they currently feel about you is it's almost like they're standoffish, because they're seeing you love yourself so much and they want to come forward. They want to say, hey, I really, really like you. I really, feel something for you. But you're in this almost like a bubble of just taking care of you and really reaching into your heart and understanding, what do I want? Who am I? And what am I going through right now? And what is it that I'm feeling towards myself? And what am I feeling even towards other people right now? Right? And this doesn't have to be a romantic reading. It could be for anybody. But this is how the people around you as a collective are feeling. This is how they currently feel. It's almost like you're untouchable in a way, because you're so focused on you. And that is not a bad thing. Please don't take this as like, oh, she's telling me I need to do this or this, or no. What I'm saying is this energy is good, because it's saying you're taking the focus off of romantic connections, taking the focus off of solely being there and being the go-to person for everybody, putting yourself on the back burner. That's no longer what it is that you're worried about. You're not worrying about what people are thinking. You're not worrying about how people see you. They either like you or they don't. Big freaking deal. At the end of the day, it matters what you think of you. And when you lay your head down at night, did you show up for yourself and do the things that you wanted to do that mattered? And it's so interesting because this card is giving me this energy of like where people are now seeing you do things that you weren't doing before and finding pleasure in those things that they didn't even know. Like, they didn't know that you liked to do that, or they just assumed that that was something that maybe you dabbled in at one point in time, but now you just don't, like you weren't going to carry it on, and now you're getting back into it. And that could be music, that could be art, that could be drawing, that could be writing, that could be singing, it could be building, it could be taking things apart, it could be learning something, it can be, reading, it could be anything, okay? It could be anything. But there's something here where you're giving now this energy where it's like, this thing that I like is more important than whatever it is I was searching for before. And that is something that is why they're standoffish right now, but it's also another reason as to why you're so intriguing to them. And so it's a good energy, but it also goes to show it's like you're not just waiting around for people to figure it out. Like, you're either going to show up or you're not. At the end of the day, no skin off my back, right? It says, in this beautiful image, we see hands reaching toward each other through a heart. The green field surrounding them is the color of the 4th of the heart chakra. It's when we feel love in our heart center that we only naturally emit that healing energy of compassion. We also attract love and compassion. Studies by the Heart Math Institute revealed that the electrical signals from the heart are up to 60 times stronger than the brain's, and the magnetic field is as much as 5,000 times more powerful. Exactly. So the more you love yourself, the more magnetic you are. It's a given that our thinking patterns affect our feelings and in turn our reality. What we put out, whether it's love, fear, empathy, sadness, and so forth, contains an incredible amount of power to shape and influence our reality. When the focus of our attention and intention is love and compassion, we recognize no separation between self and other. All wounds stem from the illusion of separation from source and all of creation. The route to healing this wound is through cultivating love and compassion for every being on this planet, including yourself. Not a bland standard of unquestioned acceptance, but a heartfelt sense of profound relatedness to whatever you perceive as apart from yourself. True compassion requires not only the feeling of warmth that emanates when you are in touch with your heart center, but in acts of kindness. Even this simply means being fully attentive listener. Respect the fact that your heart is a giver, putting out electrical energy, and a receiver, drawing in magnetic energy. These energies are best sensed by attending to the steady flow of your breathing while also noticing your heart area. Righteousness, fear, anger, and judgment are some common ways to block your natural desire to love. Forgiveness is not only letting go of judgment, but also seeing through the illusion that you and all that is are separate. Look about you and inside of you and do your best to love whatever you see. And I actually heard this quote that was really cool. It says that forgiveness. Oh, I wish I could remember exactly what it is. I wrote it down and I can't get to it right now because I just can't. And it was saying forgiveness realigns us. Like, that's why forgiveness is so important. And I talk about this a lot on this channel. Instead of trying to force yourself to forgive someone that you're like, I just can't forgive them. Maybe start by forgiving yourself, because once we learn to forgive ourselves, then we can naturally extend that out to others. But if we're having trouble forgiving ourselves, why on earth would we have ease in giving that to others? Although for some, it would be easier to forgive others than it is to forgive ourselves. And thus, it's why it's important for us to start with the self. Okay? All right, are we in frame? Okay. So with that, for pile number 1, we do have this unicorn pen for you to choose from. And we have this dice with the 4th house. Hold on, let me see if I can get that to focus a little better. There we go. For pile number 2, we have this little banjo pen or guitar. It looks like a banjo to me. We have this dice with the 11th house on it. And for pile number 3, we have this little horse pin that is turquoise. And if you guys hear those bangs, it's just because the tree is shedding acorns right now. And the squirrels. We have this dice with the 12th house on it. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you. And I will see you there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to pile number 1 with this gold horse pendant, Or if you were drawn to this dice with the 4th house on it, or if you were happen to be drawn towards this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on how do they currently feel about you. Thank you if you're a returning viewer, subscriber, supporter. I'm truly honored to be here with you. And if you're new here, welcome. Quick reminder, we're all here sharing this human experience together. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And we do things differently here on this channel. So with that in mind, if the messages do happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. So let's hop to it. Let's find out what messages would like to come through today. So how do they currently feel about you, pile number 1? Source, what would you like to share with us today? How do they currently feel about you, pile number 1? Okay, real quick. This does not necessarily have to be a romantic connection. This could be anybody. Also, we are tapping into how somebody else is feeling about you. That is in no way, shape, or form the truth of who you are, nor a reflection of your reality or truth. So, keeping that in mind as we're moving forward, if there are triggering messages, just remember, you don't have to make it fit. And also, triggers are a good way for us to remember that's where we can do some additional healing. So let's hop to it. We've got the 10th house. We've got North Node energy, and we've got Cancer. This could be somebody that you work with or somebody that has connected with you via you being on your path of purpose. So that could be career, that could be school, you're learning about something, that could be you owning your own business, that could be a side hustle that you have. How do they currently feel about you? They really see you as someone who is very determined and disciplined, and you have a lot of drive and ambition. They feel like you're somebody that is going to create a life that is untouchable, and that you're very kind and nurturing. I do feel like they have maybe experienced or seen you be in a situation of codependence. So that could be family codependency, that could be an ex, that could be a current, spouse, lover, whatever. This could be a friend who's looking in on you and this is how they feel about you. But they have seen you heal from something that was malaligned to your journey, and that you have overcome some sort of codependency. And that could be on a person, or that could be on a type of living, a belief, or something along those lines. But how they feel about you is that you are a part of their path, and that they're a part of your path, and they really like that. And they're not trying to, this doesn't feel like someone who's trying to label that, right? Just happiness that we've met along the journey, and that they've been somewhat inspired by you in a lot of different ways. You're very caring. You give a lot. And maybe you don't receive a lot. And I feel like this person feels like, how can I give to pile 1 in a way that they've given to me? And where that might be something that they're capable of doing, for many, they might not be able to open their hearts as much as you have, because you do feel like you have healed from being maybe a people pleaser, or you're an overgiver, and you're still learning how to balance that. And naturally, you're still going to give, because that could be also just part of your love and a part of your, when they say that, the love language. Giving can be a love language, and you might have a love language of giving. It doesn't necessarily have to be gifts. It's just giving in any way, shape, or form. And that's what this feels like. And so they appreciate that you are a giver, but I feel like they want you to receive as well. And they're not sure what that means for you or how that impacts you either. So we're going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot today by Kim Kranz. See, how do they currently feel about you, pile number one? How do they currently feel about you, pile number one? You're the moon in the sky. So you could have very prominent Cancerian placements in your chart. You could have a water trine. You could have North Node, South Node in Cancer, which would put North Node, South Node in Capricorn. You could have your 10th house in Capricorn as well as the moon in Capricorn. How do they currently feel about you? You're inspiring to them. For others of you, this is like a romantic connection. They're very attracted to you. How do they currently feel about you? See, you're enlightening them to see the things that they themselves have not been able to really understand or to dig deeper into. You're helping them to understand the world in a much better way, in a much bigger way. Yeah, the sun. You light up my life. So you're this just beautiful, inspirational, motivational person in their life. You are this person who's giving, and it's a very innocent and pure type of giving that you give to them. And so this is how they want to approach you. And they feel like if I could be that innocent love in their life, they would see me the same way, or they would know that I'm intentional in the way that I'm moving forward and that I have good intentions for pile one. And they do feel stuck in some sense. There's this energy of feeling stuck with how they are maybe living their lives, or maybe there's a distance between you and them, or maybe there's people in between you and them, or there's departments between you and them, right? Because this could be at work. But they don't want that to be why they hold back. And if you look, the lamb here has the sun over the third eye, right? And the sun came out. And so that's the thing. They currently feel like you're the reason that they see the world. I found no reason for me to change who I used to be. A reason to start over new. And the reason is you. Yeah. And the reason is you. Who's that? Who was think? Yeah. So, like, you give them a reason. And there's also this energy that's coming in where maybe you have backed off on giving so much. And that, you know, it could be because maybe you felt like you were overgiving to them and they weren't receiving the same. But I don't feel like that is what's coming through. I feel like the reason you had to back off is because you're still in that precipice of figuring out, like, how do I create good boundaries of giving versus receiving? And so you've had to retreat in a way. And you've had to draw back to give yourself space. And now this person feels that absence. Or maybe you went on a work trip. Or maybe you had to leave for a family emergency. Or you had to it was your time to take some scheduled time off. Or you had to go and train and do something else in a different department. So there's like this essence of you being removed from their lives for a reason, just for a little while. And now they're realizing, like, oh my gosh, pile one, you have given me so much. And it's almost like digesting everything that you've given them. And that is now why they want to come towards you with this very pure, innocent love. It's a very pure, innocent type of way, right? This is very innocent. Everything we see here, it's very innocent, very, very new. And this is new to them as well. And this is how they're feeling. Oh my goodness, I love this. We've got a lot of Leo energy here. We have the strength on the bottom with the white rose as well. And so there's, yeah, again, this purity, this essence of purity that's coming in. They see, or I know I'm saying they see you, but they currently feel like your innocence is your greatest strength. And we're not talking about innocence from, like behind closed doors or anything like that. We're talking about your innocence in your soul and in your heart. And that you approach things from a very childlike perspective, a sense of wonder and a sense of excitement at the world around you. And that makes them feel like they can do anything. And you're very spiritual. And there's something about, again, with the third eye, look, and isn't it interesting? You could have a March birthday, so you could be born during March. And the reason I feel that is because, I don't know, growing up where I grew up at, we always said March could either come in like a lion or go out like a lamb, or it would come in like a lamb and go out like a lion. And that was kind of predicting the snow season that we would have during March. Growing up in Colorado is really February, March is really kind of the stormy seasons in Colorado, at least when I was a kid. Now it's just as unpredictable as ever. And so, but that was something I grew up with. Okay. And so that's interesting that we have it's coming in like a lamb and going out like a lion. So you come in and they feel like you come in with this very gentle presence. And then when you leave with this immense strength. And that's what they're feeling right now, is the absence, but also they're feeling the resonance of your strength. And they feel like they want to be able to reciprocate that to you and give that back. But it's scary too, because this is brand new to them. How are they currently feeling about you? Yeah, house 12 flipping over here. Spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. So they're going through healing right now because of you. Because of whatever you've gone through. Because of whatever it is that you've experienced. They're going through healing. On the bottom, house 4. Didn't you have house 4 as the dice on the dice? And so we have Cancerian energy once again. We have cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. So this could be a family member too. This could be a family member who's seeing you grow, who's seeing you mature in the face of spiritual development, in the face of emotional maturity, and even mental well-being. So they're seeing you mature in a very beautiful way, and you're giving them inspiration to do the same. But there's also a fear here, right? That they're struggling to come through and say that. And that could be because of their own pain, their own suffering, their own shame and blame that they're carrying. And that's why they haven't come through. It's like, I don't want to put that on pile number 1. Like, that's really heavy. And they're this beautiful person and they have so much to offer. And I feel like that's where you've gotten your innocence from, is that integration of your own shadow, your own pain, your own blame, your own shame, your own guilt. All those things that show up in the shadow, you're working on integrating that back into yourself as a whole piece. And when you do that, then you realize there's no reason to take what others are doing or saying or acting as personal, because what was really going on is the minute I took it personal, it was because it was triggering that part of me that felt like I had to carry the burden of that whatever was done, right? So someone's saying, oh, you're never going to be enough, right? And so if you don't feel like you're enough and someone says that to you externally, that is that reflection of what you're feeling internally. And so instead of being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person would ever say something like that, you start to look at, why do I feel that way about myself? And then you start the integration process. So we have focus on love. Look for the good in everyone. See, and that's the thing, like, they see you as this very pure presence. You see the good in everyone. You see the good in them, and maybe they feel like they're not worthy of love, and yet you still have given them love. And you've never given them a reason not you know, to be like, oh, this is me having my own personal agenda, or this is me trying to get something from you. You've always shown up and been exactly who you are. And they feel like they can conquer the world, right? Like, look, she's facing this dragon. So they're willing to face their own inner demons, which we see here with strength, but it's because of you. It's because you came in like the lamb and then you left like a lion. And it was that gentle opening for them. It's very healing to them. And so they feel like you've healed their life, right? Oh, what is that? There's another song that's coming in, and it's by the Shinedown. And I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's like, you healed my life, and I'll never forget that. Even though the song is talking about how they had to leave and they had to let go, but it's like, you healed my life, and I'll never forget that. And that's how they feel. So it's like, even if you're not an everyday part of their life, you healed such a huge part of their life. Yeah, turn on your heart light. Wow. So definitely your heart-centered person here, especially with Cancerian energy coming in. They are ruled by the heart chakra. They're ruled the breast area on our bodies. That's ruled by Cancer. So just a quick thing, if you notice you have like Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, you might have a very voluptuous chest. Or if you're a man, you might have very, very big chest, like very strong and muscular, big pecs or something like that. That is just natural to Cancer. Okay? So we have turn on your heart light, reflect on a time when you experienced love. So they feel like with you, they've experienced real love. They don't get that anywhere else. They've never received that from anyone else. And that's how they currently feel about you, is that you're this person who's brought love into their lives. And they want to be able to receive, that, but more importantly, I feel like they want to be able to give back that love. So we're going to get some love cards. They want one more. Yeah, okay. So we had wedding flip over here, marriage, forever, the one, and union. So this situation could be that they're thinking about marrying you. They feel like you're the one for them. I found the reason. Yeah, the one, right? Like, what's that other song? Is that by Backstreet Boys? I'll be the one. Dun, 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 dun. I'll be the light. Yeah. Heartbreak. Look, what was I saying? They've gone through a lot of pain, hurt, betrayal, grief, and disappointment. You help them find a way through this, and this is how they feel about you. They feel like you're the light that's led them through. You were the light in the darkness. They lost everything. They became completely distraught and overwhelmed by what they had experienced in their life. And yet here you came in, the little pure soul that you are, pile number one. And you reminded them that love is all that there is. Love is the only thing that exists. And whether that's in a romantic way or not, you have given them hope again. This could be the one. The one. Okay, so you've already met the romantic partner you seek. So in romance terms, this could be the person for you. They're doing everything that they can to stand up to, you know, not your expectations, it's like standing up next to you. I want to stand up and be next to pile number one. I want to be the person that they can be proud of, and that I've healed from my past baggage and let go of so much, and that they don't have to worry about how I'm going to show up. And they feel like if I can get through this, then I can get through anything with pile number one. That we can grow together. I feel like one more wants to come out. Okay. Yeah, on the bottom, we have key on a ring. Many options, unconventional, one night stand, and string along. So I feel like this goes back with the heartbreak. I feel like they maybe fell in love with somebody that just kept breadcrumbing them. Or this could be that this is how it feels like what they've been doing to you. Like they've been breadcrumbing you, or they've been stringing you along, and that's really irritating. But the reason that they stopped giving so much energy is because they wanted to go and take care of themselves. They wanted to heal. We have healing heart that flipped over. Healing heartbreak. So there was someone here that really broke their heart. Okay, so they're healing heartbreak, toxicity or addiction, and abusive relationship. They went through something really, really bad. Okay, and that caused them to have to cut ties here. They had to move on, receive what you need, progression and arriving. But by them cutting ties in this ship card, they were able to see the value of what you brought into their life. Between the lines, hidden meaning, vague, speculate, and implicit. This is kind of like that card for me in one of my other decks. It's an animal deck, Embrace the In-Between. It's like there's really no, oh my gosh, they're rushing in to come and get to you right now, or they're just staying stagnant. This is basically, there's so much that's going on in the spiritual realm right now that we don't have privy to that. Like we're not in the know right now. They're not in the know because there's so much that Source and the guides and the angels are taking care of right now. Anxiety, stress, depression, panic attacks, and restless. Okay, so they're right now facing their own emotional state. Okay, especially with the 12th house here. This is them taking care of their mental well-being. And the thing is that you've helped lay the groundwork for that in whatever way. It's just by you being you. It's not that you necessarily said the right thing, or you said this perfect thing, or you gave them information. It was literally by you being you. They watched you transform. This is someone who's watched you transform. And so now they're facing their own anxiety. And that's why between the lines is coming out with this as well. Yeah, so they're going through healing. We've got healing heart and healing from two different decks. Wounds, improving, mending, progress. We also got from the astrological deck, healing with house 12. Okay, so let me do these first. Love call. Expressing love, messages of love, thinking of you, and informing you. So you are definitely on their mind. And they appreciate how much you've done for them in their lives. And maybe you'll never know. And maybe one day you will. Mirror. Yeah, mirroring each other. Self-reflection, introspection, and inner wounds. You held up a very... It's interesting because when I'm going to say this, it might sound odd, but this is what they're showing me. It's like you showed a mirror to them that was incredibly frightening. And they've retreated from that. And that instance, they knew they had to either face the truth or keep running. And I feel like a part of them tried to keep running. But eventually, the intrigue of you kept calling them back. And they knew they couldn't run anymore. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Okay, so this is, again, that idea of destiny or fated paths, fated meeting is coming in with soulmate. And we have past life relationship. You've known each other before. So there is definitely a soul recognition here, which is why we have the mirror, right? And again, if you've been on this channel at any point in time, you know I'm not here to put labels on relationships because I feel like labels draw us further away from the point of some of these relationships. Rather, it's just coming into the know-how and understanding that if we're not taking care of ourselves first, really, whether we have a labeled relationship or not, that won't ever matter if we're not putting ourselves first. So just pointing that out. But it does feel like you guys do have this soul recognition. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book for you. Yeah, there's a lot of passion here. Not like you're the light and the dark. We got that with the sun, and the moon came, like the energy of the moon came through as well. It's like you're the one that's lighting up the dark. You're the only reason that they've been able to make it so far on their journey. And they definitely feel drawn to you, and they are very, very attracted to you. They are also just feel very connected to you in a lot of different ways, and you make them feel like they can do anything. And that's scary. This is scary for them. They've never felt this way before. So we've got, what are your passions? What turns you on? What ignites that inner flame, that creative spark? When you feel devoid of passion, consider what's missing in your life. It is most likely the absence of the fire in your belly, something that makes your heart beat faster and quickens your breathing. Passion is not something that comes from outside of you. Although some events and circumstances can trigger it, it is an intensity of feeling, whether quietly experienced or enthusiastically expressed. Passion can simply be a strong feeling, or sensation itself can be so powerful that it motivates you to act. This is too often associated exclusively with sexuality, which is certainly one way of expressing it, yet it limits its meaning and demeans the broader possibilities. Open yourself to the truth of what you are passionate about and find a means to express it. So they're incredibly passionate about you, but it's more than just a sexual connection to them. For many of you, this could be, again, it could be family, this could be friends. So obviously that's out of the picture in those situations. This is saying that these people see you and you inspire them to act in their lives in a way that they otherwise wouldn't have acted. And they feel like the only reason they're moving forward is because of you. And that's how they're currently feeling about you. There is some things that they're experiencing right now that they have to go through alone. And that's okay. We all have that on our journey. So this is what I see here for you, pile one. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little flame emoji down below and say, by choosing to invest in myself, I inspire the flame of passion to ignite within others. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. With that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, source, my spirit guides for coming through to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, pile one, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to pile number 2 with this banjo pin, or this dice with the 11th house on it, or if you happen to be called to this card from the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on how do they currently feel about you. I would like to say thank you if you are a continued supporter of the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. We are all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And we do things differently here on this channel. So with that being said, if the messages do happen to resonate with you, it would mean the world if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And we're going to go ahead and get into it and find out, how do they currently feel about you, pile number 2? Source, what would you like to share with us? How do they currently feel about you, pile number 2? Okay, before we get into it, we are tapping into how someone else is currently feeling about you. That is in no way, shape, or form the truth or a reflection of how you really are. So, 2 things. If there's a trigger that comes out, you don't have to make it fit. Secondly, reminding ourselves that triggers are potentials for us to do further reflection and healing. So moving forward, I ask that you keep an open heart and an open mind and see what comes through, okay? So we've got the first house, we've got Aquarius energy, and we've got Pluto. How are they currently feeling about you? They feel like you've changed. Maybe you went from being an introvert to an extrovert, or you flip-flopped and went from an extrovert to an introvert. You're not the same person that they knew. You're not the person who is trying to take up space like you once did. In fact, you are seeing things from a very collective, almost like a hive mind energy, where you see everybody as on the same playing field as you. And they feel like you have transformed so much, and that now you're this very powerful, influential person who has the ability to inspire or to guide others to heal and to let go of the deep, dark secrets and the deep, dark emotions that overrule those of us that have experienced hardships on our journey, which is everybody really. No one is free from the whole human experience. And they are in this state of admiration. They see you as looking towards the future and almost forgetting about the past. And there's this essence that this person feels like they've been forgotten in the past, that you just moved on without them. But the thing is that if they were not willing to step up, then you had to step away. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. This person had a choice, and the choice that they made reflects that. You had a choice, and the choice you made reflects that. It's not because you wanted to leave them behind. I feel like it's just the necessity. It had to happen because you continued to take forward motion in your journey. There's a lot of healing that's happened here. There's a lot of transformation, though. You don't even look the same that you did when they last saw you. There is something about... What is that, a song? There's something about the way you look tonight. It came in and it was like tried to come in as a song, and then it just came out because I don't actually know how that song goes. But yeah, there's something about the way you look tonight. And that is what they're saying. There's something different about your energy, about your aura. Maybe you have just transformed a lot. Like maybe you've shed so much trauma that now you look 10 years younger and they look 20 years older, and they're so confused. Like, how did pile number 2 leave me behind? And, you know, you chose your journey. You did what was right for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. And even if they don't see it that way, even if they think like something's wrong with that, that's theirs to deal with, right? That's not yours to shoulder. That doesn't matter. All right, we're going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot today by Kim Kranz. So if you're interested, that's the tarot that I'm using. All right, so how do they currently feel about you, pile number 2? Yeah, it feels like they're trying to hold on to something from the past. It's almost... So there's like this immature energy that's coming in. I want to hold on to something from the past. I don't want... Oh, and I was getting that before I went into your reading. There's this essence of, I want to stay behind a mask. I don't want to show my truth. I don't want to show my true colors to anybody because they're afraid that no one's going to accept them as they are. Least of all you. And I feel like you're a very open person. Like, as long as someone's authentic with who they are, I feel like you're pretty accepting of them, especially with the Aquarius energy here. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, be you. Why are you going to be someone else? But if someone's really inauthentic to you, it's just like, no, I'm just not down with that. I don't want to play that game. And so it might be just easier for you to walk away. But how do they currently feel about you, pile number 2? This is multiple cards. All right. How do they currently feel about you, pile number 2? Would you like to say, Source? How do they currently feel about you? Yeah, they did not have much to offer, and they knew that. They knew that. They felt like you had so much to give them, and that this feels like someone who believed that they could breadcrumb you, and they could get away with it because they've always been able to get away with it. Yeah, the 2 swords. You outgrew it. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. No one. Least of all you. Like, you ain't got time for that. I'm gonna move the camera. I don't know why it keeps moving right now. There, let's see if that does better. Okay. But it's like, I don't have time to mess around in this game of life. I need to focus on what matters to me. And so they're currently feeling like it's interesting because there's this essence of intentionally leaving them behind. That's how they feel. They feel like you intentionally left them behind. But you chose your journey. You chose yourself. So regardless if this person didn't want to change, right? They wanted to continue to breadcrumb you. They wanted to continue to give you so little and feel like this should be enough to keep pile number 2 around. No. No, no, no. Yeah, we've got the 9 of Wands. Yeah, and the 3 of Swords. Looks like there's this divine intervention to move away from a broken heart. I do feel like this person broke your heart at some point. And, it doesn't have to be something that was super chaotic and catastrophe. A huge catastrophe. We're just going to go with that. I don't know what's coming in. Yeah, they didn't have to go through that. Like, you could have just been this person maybe just stopped showing up for you. They ghosted you. And it doesn't mean that doesn't hurt less. I just feel like there's something about where this person felt like they could keep you on a string in their life and pull you along, like put the carrot in front of your face and you were always going to chase it. And then one day you woke up and you were like, no, that doesn't even look appetizing. And why the heck have I been chasing it all this time? And you turned away and you walked the different direction and left them. And it left them completely appalled. They were like, no one's ever done that to me before. And so they feel like you've started over and they feel like they're burdening everything that they put you through right now. So they do like you. Like they do, like it's weird. This is not like a love type of energy. This is someone who, it's almost like a weird admiration. There's a lot of jealousy that's coming in. There's a lot of envy that's coming in as well, but they still can't help but admire you. And they're almost disgusted with themselves that they admire you. And so this could be a romantic partner. This could be someone that an ex. This could be an ex-friend. This could be an ex-family member. This could just be someone that was, for you, like, I thought we were going to build something, but then you couldn't. So like a partner. Oh, my throat feels all dry all of a sudden. Yeah, they're keeping something to themselves. Like they don't want to admit that they played a role in you leaving their lives. This could be someone who has spent a lot of time gossiping about you and saying how you were the problem and not them. And now, because you've come back from, your journey, or you're now putting yourself out there again, they can't keep up with the story anymore because people are seeing the truth. They're seeing how you went and you transformed and you changed. And now they're stuck. They're bound to this past issue and they're feeling left out. It's almost, well, if I'd only chosen to step with pile number 2, but you didn't. And you can't go back and change the past. Like, that's not going to happen. We can't do that. So they were very dishonest. I feel like this was a person who was incredibly dishonest. And the reason they were dishonest is because they were so afraid of you finding out the truth of who they are. And learning that they're not this perfect person. I'm not a perfect person. Never meant to do those things to you. And how does the rest of that go? It's like something I had to leave before I go. I just want you to know. Gosh, that song came out in the other one too. That came out because that's a different line that's coming out from the same song that came out in pile 1. But it's interesting because pile 1 was a whole different type of energy. So I think that's a Hoobastank song. I'm not sure. It might not be. It could be a Papa Roach. I don't know. But it's like, I never meant to do those things to you. But at the same time, it's almost like they watched themselves doing these things to you. And they were overcome by whatever emotion was driving them. And even though they were watching, themselves act out in this way, they still couldn't stop themselves. They just didn't. It's interesting because you could say, well, they could have if they wanted to, but at the same time, you know, sometimes people are so driven by their autopilot responses and reactions that they can't until they make a choice saying, I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm sure you've been there too, Pile 2, where you've had to actually physically choose awareness in situations and choose not to show up as you did in a previous way. And that's what's coming through here. Yeah, conjunction, a union, a merging, a coming together. So this could have been a relationship, an ex with conjunction here. This could have been an ex. I keep hearing Scars by Papa Roach too, and I apologize, I don't remember the lyrics to it right now, but that's another one that's coming through. Scars by Papa Roach. It's like this person, they feel like they cut you so deep. So maybe you disappeared from the face of the planet for a while, like off of social media. You kind of just went total, you know, backwoods. I'm not contacting my old peeps. I'm just, you know, I'm going to take care of myself and do what I need to do and focusing on my journey. And so you could have cut yourself off from all the places that you were connected with people. And so it made it easy for them to gossip about you. And then all of a sudden, it's like they're thinking in their mind, oh, I cut pile number 2 deep. I hurt them. Like, I'm the one who won. But then when you came back, they weren't even a thought in your mind. And maybe even now you're like, why is this coming up? Because it's like something you just need to know right now. Right? And so it's like for you, it wasn't... They weren't even a thought in your mind when you came back, and that left them almost as hurt as what they did to you. Because to them, the only thing that mattered is being in people's minds rent-free. And this whole time, they felt like that's what they were for you. And I just don't feel like that was the case. I feel like for you, it was just something you outgrew, and you're like, I'm done with this. Yeah, back to what you love. Reevaluate your desires. Yeah, like you are the one who took a different path. You're the one that was led to finding what it was that you wanted. So there was this huge transformation. Right? And didn't I say that? Like maybe you've healed so much trauma that you look younger than you did when you first started this journey, or when you left this situation, or when things didn't pan out. Like you look younger, you look different. And they just don't understand it. But they look older. Everybody's like looking at them like, wow, you're pretty tore up. You know, like what happened? And then they see you and they're like, whoa, look at pile number 2. They look good. They look so, you know, fit, or they look so young. Like, did they get work done? They look really good. And for you, I just think it's just the healing. You let go of so much of the baggage. You let go of so much of what was holding you down. Yeah, heartbreak, flying out. Hurt, betrayal, grief, disappointment. You know, and I read the Tarot Marseille, and I know that the 3 of Swords means heartbreak in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but in the Tarot Marseille, it talks about divine intervention. And so I think it's twofold here for me to mention that, especially with the heartbreak card to come out. I feel like there was heartbreak, but the divine intervention was giving you awareness to make a decision for yourself. Finances and snake. Yeah, okay, so we have money problems, work, material things, success, and snake with deception, shady, temptation, and enemy. So this could have been someone that was using you for financial gain. This could have been someone that they definitely had an ulterior motive here, especially with snake. This is someone who felt like they could treat you however they wanted and they would get what they needed from you. And maybe they did for a while, but something happened and they were left with the burden of their actions. Yeah, okay, so exactly what I was saying, like why Source is having me mention the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Tarot Marseille meanings here. We have divine timing, wrong timing, stalemate, perfect timing, and waiting. This is literally Source agreeing with that. Like we're talking about there was divine intervention to something that was heartbreaking that you had to go through. And so right now they're currently feeling the heartbreak that they put you through. And there's this want to blame you. And maybe that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to blame you. I feel like everybody that had their ear for a while, it was like, oh yeah, pile number 2. Okay, so they just disappeared, and that must have been what's going on. Like, everything that this person has said about you must be true. You know, people who just take one side of the story as as gold. And I feel like now the people who actually listen to this person are thinking like, pile 2's back, and they're not anything like what you said they were. And this person is now feeling as lonely as they made you feel, as disconnected as they made you feel. Yeah, abundance. So again, with finances, positive mindset manifests gratitude, bliss, and blessings. So this is interesting because finances came over here. It's almost like they wanted to keep you from financial freedom or having your finances, or this person was so hell-bent on creating a lot of dissonance in your life so that you couldn't have prosperity, a prosperous mindset, positive mindset, a blessed feeling in your heart. And now they're like, I feel like they rubbed it in like they had everything. They had everything over you. Like they had more than you had. And now it just basically looks like they've been struggling this whole time. Wow, I guess you got 4 cards. We have, no, whoa, finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. What a trip. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this is someone who really had a problem with you gaining some sort of financial freedom or financial gain. It's almost like your downfall was their benefit in a way, and that's what it feels like. So it's like every time they made it seem like you were the one that took everything from them, or you were the one that was making their life hard, they were getting empathy from people, or they were getting sympathy from people, and people were maybe helping them, giving them money, helping them to survive and everything like that. And then when you made your big debut after healing, everyone was like, hold up. Just a second. What's really going on? And that one question is what started others to look into this deeper, and they realized that this person was lying. Yeah, Chiron, this has been a part of the hurt and heal. This has been a part of you healing yourself from South Node energy, but also from past life energy. And if you don't believe in past lives, that's fine. Past life meaning what you've lived from a childhood until now. Cardinal energy, so you could take a new, fresh start. Instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. This is you forging your own path. And I know it's about what this person currently feels about you, but this is more about Source focusing on what it's done for you. Having had dealt with someone so difficult in your life, this is what it's offering you. Slow down. Pause and allow things to unfold. And I feel like this is really telling this energy here, because it's showing that now you are capable of letting things happen, like letting people show up. How are they going to show up in your life? Who are they going to be when they show up in your life? And because of that, you're no longer just jumping into situations willy-nilly. It's like all feet in, or, you know, head over heels in a situation. You're looking at it for what it is. You're letting this person show up as they are, whoever that is. Oh, yeah, ghosted. Disappears, silence, ignored, and rejected. Didn't I say this person may have ghosted you at the beginning? Yeah, so we have that confirmation coming through. I'm pretty sure I said that at the beginning of your reading. It just feels like this person disappeared. It's like they just went silent and they believed that you were going to fight for them. But I feel like for you, Pile 2 is like, why should I fight for you when you've shown me that you will never fight for me? Hammer, sabotage, rebuild, persist, working on it and repairing. Yeah, they tried to sabotage you. They believed if they put you in this really awkward position that you would sabotage yourself. But putting you in that awkward position actually gave you a leg up on the journey. You know, it's not like, oh, you would have never gotten there. It's just that it forced you to make a decision for yourself in a very short time. Okay. So we do have labeled energy coming out here. Yin yang imbalance, a union and duality, complement and polar opposites. Okay, so this could be a labeled relationship, but before we get into that, the other thing that I want to say is that this could also just be a part of that journey. This is just a part of that, going into the dark night of the soul. It might not have been a twin that did this. It could have been a friend or an ex that did this, and that's just a part of the journey. You know, everybody wants to romanticize being a twin flame, and that's where we're wrong. And I'm going to say that because being on the twin flame journey is very challenging, and it is wrought with upset and hurt and pain and suffering, and reality comes crashing down around you, and you have to see beyond illusions that you have held your entire life. Your everything disappears. Everything that you felt was substantial or stable in your life disappears, and you rebuild from that. And that might sound easy, but it's not. And for those of you that have been through that, you know exactly what I mean. But there's a lot of people who are like, oh, the twin flame, it's just this perfect person for me. Like, it's the perfect person in my world. And I'm not here to say that, yes, this person's coming in. No, this person's not coming in, because everybody's journey is different. But one thing that is resoundingly true on the twin flame journey is that there's a lot of suffering. And the reason the suffering exists is to break down paradigms that are outdated for the world. And so there's a select group of people that have been sent here to carry this burden to help enlighten the world for future generations to come in and make massive change. And we're at the precipice of that. Like, we're literally standing on a double-edged knife because of that. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's beautiful, this person's beautiful. But really, when you break it down and you see the journey for what it is, rather than the relationship, you recognize that there's this, right, the duality that happens. It's this balancing out of something that was already unbalanced to begin with. And that's it's not a good feeling. It's just not. So, but, you know, again, I'm not here to tell you what's right for you, what's wrong for you. That is for you to assess for yourself, okay? Wow, okay, so tell us how you really feel, Source. Key on a ring, many options, unconventional, one night stand, and string along. This is that breadcrumb energy that I was feeling from early on. This is someone who strung you. Like, they were like, I'm always going to string pile number 2 along. They're always going to come running back to me. And then you didn't. And that left them completely baffled. Let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold. Look, please allow things to pause and allow things to unfold. So exactly, instead of saying like, oh, it has to be this, it has to be that, it has to be this. Can we just, as humans, begin to admit that only a fool thinks they know everything? Everybody's journey, labeled or not, is going to unfold the way that that person's journey is meant to unfold. It's not going to be the same as everyone else's. And so instead of us putting a cookie cutter version of what everyone else says it has to be, realizing like, can we just let it be what ours is going to be? Let it be, let it be. Yeah, Beatles, sing it. Okay, give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. And I feel like this is just reminding you to come back to yourself. That's that balancing out the energy. If you're unbalanced within, you can't have a balanced situation outside of you, because it will always mirror back to you what's going on internally. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday together. So coming out of the honeymoon phase, right? The romanticization of the label itself and seeing reality for what it is. I feel like this person believed you were never going to see reality for what it is, because you're romantic, you like romance, you like things to be really happy and frou-frou or whatever, right? And please, I am a Pisces. I get it. I meet you, and whether we're meant to be together or not, I have lived 3 lives with you within the first 15 minutes of knowing you, and yeah, so I get it. I get what that means, okay? And I have tons of Pisces placements in my chart. It's kind of absurd, and it's just overwhelming. And so I get that. I get the honeymoon phase. It's something that is so easy to get involved in. But also, we sometimes go back to this phase of not seeing what it is that's in front of us because we're romanticizing it for what we want it to be. And sometimes we have to open up to what it is so that we can let go and allow what's meant to be. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And this is a thing. This is not for you. Okay. This is what they're saying. Like, what Source is saying here is, like, if somebody cares about you, regardless of a label, they're gonna make the effort for you. Okay. Whether that's friend, a family, a romantic partner, remember that. Remember that you're worth making the effort for. And when you remind yourself of that, it helps you remind yourself not to over romanticize things because that's what everybody's saying we should do, right? There's a lot of people getting hurt out there because everybody's telling them it has to be XYZ. Look, I've been on this journey long enough to know that the minute that we have expectations of it being XYZ, ABC, LMNOP, it don't matter. Source is going to show us that it's AZ920 5G2. Okay? It's not ever going to be what we expect it to be. It's just not. So let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. We're going to see what comes through. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. This is really strong energy. Vitality coming in here. Wow, let me try that again. I can talk. I promise you guys. Whatever. This is a human moment. Volcano with volatility. There we go. Just talking about angry. This is being angry. This is being upset about the situation, about this relationship, about what you've been through. That's what this card talks about. But instead of me explaining it to you, let me just read it to you from the book, because I oftentimes talk about this card and I feel like it's just like, oh yeah, that's just an easy way to... No, this card is really, really kind of one of those cards. It's just upsetting, but it's for a purpose. It says this is a particularly volatile time for you. Unexpected changes, sometimes quite sudden and dramatic, are occurring in ways that you have absolutely no control over. And we had to let go of control issues too. These occurrences may be so powerful as to shake up what you formerly thought of as the foundations of your security. And oh my gosh, what was I talking about with the twin flame journey? It literally breaks down all foundations that we've ever grown accustomed to knowing. They may even cause you to reassess the direction of your life is taking, to question some of your relationships, or to reevaluate the work you've chosen. Although these events may rock your world, know that Source is the guiding force behind them. It is a matter of finding your trust that life knows what it is doing in the midst of these storms of change. It also requires that you make adjustments quickly and not cling to what was, but instead move forward and welcome with your arms wide open what is yet to come. All from a place of being present in the moment. You truly have nothing to fear. Interesting though, because we were talking about that with the heartbreak card, right? This is something that Source is guiding. Source is the one that's creating this upset in your life so that you can break down a paradigm you've been holding on to. And that's why it's frustrating, because it's like, why am I being punished? But it's not a punishment. It feels like a punishment because the emotional ego doesn't want to hold on to the belief that it's been holding on to for so long. And that's why I feel like a lot of people get triggered, especially when it comes to the twin flame journey. If it's not exactly what their emotional ego is holding on to, like, this is the person for me, there is no one else for me, I'm never gonna love another person. We're the ones that are putting ourselves in a place of limitation. We're limiting ourselves. We're saying we can't open up to unconditional love in this, because if I can't have this person, then why the heck would I want anyone else? Well, rather than seeing it, why not just say, I am open to receiving the person who's meant for me? Why do we have to have it be this person? Because you've only met a finite amount of people in the world. And yes, maybe this person has a deeper connection with you. And I'm not here to say they are or they aren't your twin flame. Again, that is not my job. But what I'm saying is that you've met so few people considering how many people reside on this earth. So it's safe to say that we're probably going to resonate with at least at least 0.00001%, which is still quite a few people, right? Like, it's still a lot of people. Considering there's, what, 8 billion people on the face of the planet? I mean, I don't know, the number's growing every day. So when you're saying it has to be this one person, you're saying it's one person out of 1 in 8 billion people. That's it for you. You're basically telling Source, no matter what you have for my journey, I'm never going to open up entirely to unconditional love. Is it okay to be mad about? Sure. Yeah, no one's telling you not to feel anger about it. But there's so much about the twin flame journey that there's so many people who don't actually know what it entails. They're just romanticizing it and saying it has to be XYZ because it sells. And it's something that people want to buy into. It's marketing 101. But the spiritual part of it is so much deeper than the relationship. And that's the part that we're digging deeper into each and every day. And that's the part that when we let go, right? Let go of it having to be exactly the way that we imagine it to, when Source is always going to show us it's not that way. When we open up to the truth of the reality, then we open up to the truth of who we can become and what our journey brings for us. And I know that's a lot easier said than done, pile number 2. I know that this is a rough time for you, and I'm so sorry that you have to experience something like this. Breaking down paradigms, beliefs, and foundations in our lives is not something that's fun. It's not like, hey, you know what? It's going to be rainbow and unicorn farts and bubbles and, beautiful things all the time. It's hard. It's really hard. That's why there's not more people who do this journey. But you're doing it. And that's what they're saying. Don't give up now. What you're going through right now is really disheartening, but it's not the end of the world. It's something that is going to bring with it deeper understanding of who you truly are. Okay? Here's a big, big, big energetic hug for you, pile number 2. I really do love you, and I appreciate you being here with me. So this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading or this resonated with you, I do believe there's a volcano emoji down below. So leave the volcano emoji and just say, it's through life's eruptions that all the debris clears away and I'm left with a fresh new beginning. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So with that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel Source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to pile number 3 with this turquoise horse pin, or if you're drawn to this dice with the 12th house on it, or if you happen to be called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on how are they currently feeling about you, or how they currently feel about you. First, I'd like to say thank you to anyone that continues to support the channel and be here. I am truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And if you happen to be new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together. This is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And we do things differently here on this channel. So with that being said, if the message resonates, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. So let's hop to it and find out, how do they currently feel about you, pile number 3? Source, what would you like to share with us today? How do they currently feel about pile number 3? What messages would you like to come through today? All right, before we get into it, I've said it on all 3 piles. We're connecting with someone and how they are viewing you, feeling about you. That is in no way, shape, or form the truth of who you are. So as we connect deeper into this, if there is a trigger, there's no need to force it to fit. Also reminding you that if triggers do arise, those are perfect opportunities for us to dig in deeper and to heal ourselves in a more connected way. So let's find out what's coming through for you today. We have the 5th house, we have Libra energy and Venus. Okay. Oh, this is a lot lighter than the other 2 piles. It's not that they were bad or anything. Pile 2 was kind of rough, but that's okay. We need to hear those messages sometimes. This person, how do they feel about you? They are definitely drawn to you, for sure. They're actually incredibly attracted to you. So this does feel more romantic than anything else. It doesn't have to be, but it does feel that way right off the bat, especially with the 5th house and Venus energy coming in together. This is someone who sees you as very attractive, very magnetic, very abundant. They feel like you are someone who has it all together and that you are in the midst of being very grounded in how you balance out your life. Like, you know that there's a good work-life balance. There's a good, sometimes I play, sometimes I really grind it out, but you take care of yourself. And you are someone that is very fair. And I feel like you also know how to delegate work when necessary. I don't know why that's coming through, but it is coming through. They currently feel like your stability. You are the epitome of what it means to be stable. And for some of you, you're like probably in this energy of like, no, that's not me. I'm not that person. But that's how they feel about you. They feel like you're someone that would be a stable presence in their life. They feel like you're very loyal. And that really drives that attractiveness. And they really do feel like I feel like they want to come forward and they want to ask you out. This is someone who wants to say, hey, pile 3, let's go out. Let's have some dinner. Let's get some coffee. Let's get to know one another. You know, see where things go. All right, so we're going to be using the Wild Unknown Tarot today by Kim Kranz. Yeah, they also feel like you're incredibly intuitive, so you may know that they feel this way about you. Like, there's no surprises with you, pile 3. You know everything. And I feel like you're probably like, I don't really know everything, but I was aware that this person did like me, or at least I had an inkling that this person liked me. How do they currently feel about you, pile number 3? Yeah, so they're kind of in this weird place where when you're not around, they're so clear about how they feel about you. But then when you're around, they're like scared. Like, I don't know how to approach pile number 3. I don't know what to say. Yeah, something about balance here. For sure. There's a lot of balance. You're a very tempered person. You are very emotionally mature. You're very wise. You have a lot to give. You are very present when you are with people, whether that's with them or whether that's them seeing you with other people. You're very present with people. You have this integration of the light and the dark. Like, you're not judging people because of their past or because of their shadow or who they are. Like, you're not sitting here like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you're that type of person. So they could have shared a very intimate story with you that they feel people judge them on, or this is someone who feels like they get judged a lot based on their ethnicity, their background, the way they look, the way they talk, the way that they laugh, the way that they sneeze. You know, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be huge. It could just be even something small, like the way that their eyes are too close together, they feel, or it's something that they've judged themselves harshly on, okay? And here comes the train, so bear with me. But when it comes to you, it's something that you don't even notice about them, or even if you have noticed it about them, it's not something you're ever going to go out of your way. It's not something that you're ever going to go out of your way and be like, yeah, this, and this. Like, it's just not that. Or like if this person brought it up and been like, well, I've been really judged harshly because of my ethnicity. You'd be like, what the heck? Like, we're in 2025. We're about to be in 2026. Like, what is up with people? Why are we still judging people based on their ethnicity? Why are we still judging people based on their background? Like, none of that matters. right? We don't want to be judged, so why am I judging another person? And that's, I feel like, how you approach them with certain situations, and that's something that they find very attractive about you. Look, it's interesting because this heron, it's like this heron is crying tears. I don't know if you can see the water droplets here, but this is twofold, right? This is the blending of opposites. So it's almost like you grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, or they grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, but somehow you still are able to blend that together. Like, recognize that they're a person, that they have their own stories, their own life, and there's no reason for judgment there. And with that, you're in this energy also that you've helped them transform their tears. Okay, so like something that they've cried about, something that they've felt really bad about, or something that has caused them a lot of strife. You've helped them heal that part of themselves, and they're very grateful for that, and they feel very connected to you because of that. Yeah, we've got the 7 of coins on the bottom. You're different. You're different. You're very unorthodox. There's nothing about you that screams like, oh, you remind me of so-and-so, or you remind me of so-and-so. When they see you, pile 3, you're pile 3. And so they may compare a lot of people to you. You might be their base for comparison. Well, that person's not like pile 3. That person doesn't do this like pile number 3. And it's not that they're trying to put you on a pedestal. It's just that you have inspired them in such a very beautiful way. And I feel like you've accepted them as who they are. You've not tried to make them be someone else. This could be someone who had a lot of narcissistic involvement in their lives with people, parents, friends, family. They could have just had a lot of narcissists. They could also be a light worker and not know that they're a light worker. And so they've been put in a lot of very difficult situations with people taking advantage of them and making them feel like they're less than. Or they had a very, also I'm getting like the father wound is coming in, where they had a very aggressive, overbearing, judgmental father who made them feel very small. And you have never been that person. Like, you've always just been very open with them, and you've laughed with them, and you've had a good time. And maybe you're the one that leads the conversations with them, and they like that because it's always an adventure with you. Like, we never quite know where it's gonna go, but I'm down for the ride. So this feels like, yeah, look at this. Wow, temperance and strength. And the 8 of Swords. Okay, yeah. So this is it's like you found strength over your own insecurities and your own anxieties and stresses and worries. And you are giving them strength to do the same. And I feel like there's something here that they want to offer you. It could be anything, right? This could just be an offer of a more connected friendship. This could be an offer for a date. This could be an offer for a relationship. This could be an offer for a phone number, right? Or a DM or something like that. They want to offer you something here, and they feel like you've made them stronger. And it's almost like if I could come through and just pour into you how I felt when you first met me versus how I feel now, like you would understand the length of transformation that I've been through just because I met you, pile number 3. That's what I'm feeling here. You've helped them find a sense of freedom about being who they are. And there's not a fear that goes with that anymore. There's not a who's going to say this about me or who's going to say this about me. It's more or less like, well, let people talk because that's what they're going to do. Because I know pile number 3 accepts me. And even if it's not like real close like that for you, like you may be like, well, I don't really know this person like that, but it doesn't matter. It's just your energy is so welcoming and loving, and it's a safe place for them to come, even if it's few and far in between. It's like they recognize that you have something beautiful to offer them. And it's not like they're trying to get something from you. It's just when you create space for yourself, you naturally create space for others. And this person has found comfort in that space that you've created for them. And they feel like they want to take something of a connection here to the next level. Right? And again, it doesn't have to be romantic, but I am getting romance because of the fifth, of the fifth house energy coming in. They see you as, it's interesting though, they currently feel like you're this person who's soft and this person who's strong. We have square coming out. Yeah, a challenging situation, a mountain to climb. There's something that they're dealing with right now. So this could be that they recently broke up with somebody, or that they're still healing from a really bad breakup. Like I said, I feel like this person has dealt with narcissists in their life, and that might be something that you can, relate to with them on. It feels like people really judge this person harshly. Like nothing they've ever done was good enough, and they did everything that they could to lift themselves up out of that despair. And they couldn't. And then they met you, and you reached out your hand to them, and that was enough to help them stand back up and brush the dust off of them and take steps forward. And they feel like they've maybe been trailing you for a long time, but they're okay with that. Like they know they could never catch up to you, and they're not trying to catch up to you. They just know that they want you around. And so you help them overcome something that was putting them through really, maybe a dark night of the soul, or just a really painful suffering time in their life. Yeah, house 8. Wow. Transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies. So you help them face a fear that they had. This could be that when they met you, maybe they were still with this person, or with an ex that was really abusive emotionally, mentally, physically, so on and so forth. That could be something that they're experiencing, or that they experienced when they met you. And because you were so open to them, it gave them the courage to say enough is enough. I have to leave. I can't do this anymore. And that is something that they're forever grateful for. And so they want to say something about that. I feel like that's something that's coming through really strongly here. They want to tell you that you gave them the courage. You gave them the strength that they didn't think that they could ever leave this person, this situation, or say goodbye to this person. And you gave them that strength. Yeah, speak the language of love on the bottom here. We have 35, which is 8. So karmic situations turning into abundance here. Like you showed them the light. You showed them the magic again in life. Can you see this little dragon coming out of this rosebud here? It's like you help them see the magic in life again. See, like a friend. Like, I'm just going to lead you to the light. Like, let's look at this together. It says, loving words have the power to change lives, including your own. You gave them loving words, and it changed their life for the better. They almost didn't know what to do when you approach them with love and kindness. But for you, I feel like that's just a natural thing. Like, you're just someone who's loving and kind. Like, and maybe you have a crush on this person too. Maybe you really want to be in this person's life. But I feel like regardless of you being attracted or not to this person, you were still yourself, right? Like, look, we have soulmate flying out. So we have twin flame, soul contract, soul connection, and past lives. So they do feel a deep, deep connection to you. Like, it can't get you out of their mind. Even though maybe they've tried, maybe they've done whatever it was that they could to, like, stop thinking about you so much. I feel like there's times when they fear that if you knew how much they thought about you, that you would finally have a reason to be disgusted with them. And that's not the truth at all. Like, I just feel like it's almost flattering that this person thinks about you so much for you. It's like, wow, I didn't think anybody would think about me that way or that much. And maybe you don't know who this person is. Like, this could be someone that's passing, in the night, or someone that has, been just on your daily routine, and it's someone that you talk to just like you talk to everybody else, right? And so there might not be a reason for you to be like, oh, I know exactly who this is, but I do feel like most of you know kind of who this is. But I do feel like there's this, spiritual awakening, enlightenment, epiphany, life lessons, and rebirth. You were a spiritual awakening for this person. They never knew someone like you existed. Maybe this is all they thought for a long time. Oh, this is just going to be like a casual relationship, a hookup, maybe a fling or something like that. And that's not what it turned into at all. And so maybe they thought because you were so approachable that that's just the type of energy that you have, is like, maybe you're promiscuous, or maybe you're just like, you know, the whole world right now is all about how many partners they can sleep with sometimes, and it's kind of scary, but you know, maybe they just felt like that's just who you are, or they feel like you're much younger than they are, or they feel like maybe they're too young for you. So there's an age difference that's coming in as well here. And I actually feel like maybe you guys are the same age, but life has not been kind to this person, and they're not very, very deep in their spiritual journey, but they are getting there. And so I do feel like this person, as they heal, they'll get to look younger and younger. It's kind of been a thing that's come out here. Or here you go. Okay, addiction coming in, toxic attachments. We talked about that. We have drugs, alcohol, and obsession. So they could have been, life could have been unkind to them because they may have had an addiction of some sort here. And they feel like, oh, you know, like pile number 3 is never going to be that attracted to me, but they can't help but be deeply attracted to you. And this person could be a beautiful person. They could be absolutely beautiful, but they don't see themselves as beautiful. Wow, okay. They might not see that, right? They might not think that they're good looking. They might think that they're, you know, ugly. But again, if they've dealt with toxic attachments in life, there could have been somebody in their life that convinced them that no one would love them, that this was the only person you were going to get in life, was this terrible person, you know, like. Or my favorite one from narcissists is when you know that they're not good looking, but they go out of their way to tell you that everybody in their lives say that I'm too good looking for you, even though you know that you're the more beautiful one. Yeah, that one, that could be something that this person's gone through. So I just feel like they have really low self-esteem, and it's not like you deserve someone with low self-esteem. I just feel like this person has never had love. Just love, just love given to them, general love. And they've seen you, and you, everywhere you go, you give love, and that just baffled them, and they've been smitten with you ever since. Yeah, the butterfly. We have evolving and growth, next phase, healing inner child, releasing the past. So they are doing healing. There's a lot of healing that's happening here. There's a lot that's going on. It sounds like it's about to rain. It's been kind of rainy and cold all day. So, not that I mind. I love the rain. But my poor dog, she does not. She's looking at me like, how dare you say something so sacrilegious? Alright, what else, source? How are they currently feeling about pile number 3? Thank you. Okay. That's it. I heard that's it. Those 2 there. On the bottom. Oh, yeah. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. They are definitely in love with you. Like, they think about you all the time. This is someone who has fallen in love with you based on thoughts of you. And where that can be positive, it can also hold its negative sides as well. I just feel like this person, they're not trying to put you on a pedestal. It's just the fact that you have so much love to give, and that's something that they want to be a part of. That's what this feels like. Have faith. Oh, trust your faith in this situation. Yes, this is someone who's been praying for you. They have prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for you. And before they met you, they prayed for someone like you. And when you came, you're like, that's it. That's the person. That's the person that's my answered prayers. Right there. It's pile number 3. Yeah, so again, coming back to that, they've dealt with a lot of deception, shady energy, temptation, some enemies, right? So the hookup could have been intended as, they could have had an intention for a hookup, not with you, but with a third party here. They could have intended it to just be a hookup, and then all of a sudden it turned into an attachment and a codependent situation, and it went way longer than anybody expected, right? Not that any of us have ever dealt with that. Wow, we have girl with a snake. Yeah, charmed or used, enabled, boundaries. So they feel like they were used by somebody here. They feel like they were used by a snake energy. And that snake energy left a lot of hurt and pain in their life. But also when you came in, it helped them awaken to a deeper sense of who they are. Yeah, mirroring each other, self-reflection, introspection, and inner wounds. So I do feel like you both mirror each other, and I feel like that's what I was saying. Like, you could probably definitely relate to them on their stories that they've been through, and the same with them. It wouldn't surprise me if you both sat down and you got to talking, and they started asking you about maybe your life growing up, and you start sharing some stuff about your life, and nothing too deep, just in general, like, oh, I have a brother and I have a sister, and I'm the middle child, and you know how that goes, and you have like these stories that are, for you, they're like funny stories. You're not really that attached to it or anything, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's my story too. I have a brother and a sister, and I'm the middle child too. And you're like, whoa, that's kind of creepy. And the more you talk, like, the more your stories are literal mirrors of one another. The chaser. Fear of abandonment, chasing codependencies. Okay, so you could be the runner. You don't have to be. Honestly, I'm going to be real about this, pile number 3. The energy that I'm getting is that this person is a chaser, and that you had at one time may have been a chaser, but you healed the chasing energy, and then this person had to also heal the chasing energy. And so it's like, oh, well, 2 chasers together, they don't work. No, that's actually not true. But I just feel like that's the thing. Like, you healed from that, and now this person is working on healing from that as well. And so they're doing their best not to be the chaser in your situation. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectation. So they may be very, very different from what you're used to, because you are incredibly different from what they're used to. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And how it's coming out over this energy here, that's what they're realizing, that this person that hooked them is unrequited love for them. It's just not enough. And they had to let go. But you helped them realize that. And so they're feeling like right now that while they might be going through a lot, that it's something they still look forward to. They still look forward to seeing you whenever they see you. They still look forward to having a conversation with you whenever they have that conversation for you. But how they currently feel right now is that they do want to ask you out, but I do feel like they're just in the process of healing something, and that's why they're not just going to rush forward here. Okay, so let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. Yeah, tsunami. You were their wake-up call. Look at this. Get to higher ground, spiritual awakening, raising your vibration, right? So you were the wake-up call for them, and that was difficult. But it was also beautiful in its way, right? I thought I saw tsunami. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So it says you're getting a wake-up call. It may be in the form of a significant loss or other dramatic event in your life, typically one that you were not prepared for initially. You may feel stunned at first, surprised by the unexpected events that are occurring. Yet, you also know that it is time to draw back the curtain of avoidance and denial and confront the truth that exists in the subtext of this event. You are experiencing a real-life drama, so there's no need to amplify it more than it already is. Often when you look back after something like this has passed, you can recall signs and foreshadowing it happened. There may have been obvious clues that you ignored, or omens that were so subtle that they were easy to dismiss as imaginings of the mind rather than the voice of your instinct. There are many anecdotes about animals operating purely on instinct, picking up on clues, and naturally seeking higher ground before an approaching tsunami reaches the land. To negotiate this wake-up call, listen closely to your instincts while at the same time seeking the higher ground of spiritual truth. So they feel like you helped open the pathway to them to reach higher ground. Like before, they felt like they didn't have an option. They didn't feel like they had a way out. And you have given them that way out. And that's where they are right now. So while they really do feel a lot for you, pile 3, this is not someone who's rushing in right away, okay? They're still in the process of healing. And even if you do go and find someone else along the journey, they're okay with that. They don't want you to stop living your life. This is not someone who's like, wait for me, wait for me, wait for me. They're doing everything that they can to let go of all this hurt and this pain that they've been through, because they don't want to bring baggage to you. And if that means by letting you go and letting you live a life that is more aligned with you, they're okay with that. Because for them, the fact that you've been a part of their life at all is the biggest blessing that they could have asked for. So this is a really sweet pile. Out of all the piles, I'm so glad it was pile 3. So this is what I see for you here. If you feel like this was your reading, leave the one single raindrop emoji and say, by embracing my internal truth, I externally vibrate out love, and that encourages others to seek the love within themselves. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me for you to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. But with that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message today. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.